All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market show. Hope everyone had an amazing day yesterday, and I hope you're having an amazing morning today. So good morning. Happy Friday. Let's get started. Let's end this week right. Obviously, we got a lot going on with the SPY here is looking pretty good at the moment. Our gappers list is looking good as well. And our gap down list is pretty decent today. Only two on here, so that's good. Roku too. Excited to see. Can't wait to see how that's gonna be playing out. So, good morning, everyone. Hope everyone is doing well. Good morning, Norm. How you doing today?
Hey, good morning, Carlos. I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Can't complain. So obviously, some whoa. Check out Norm, man. Look at that. Oh, that is a beautiful thing. So this is the first time I'm
Man,
seeing you.
4:30 this morning, I had my freaking razor and clippers out.
Now, does pre-market hour count? On this bet,
Oh
I would
yeah.
say it has to be, no, you're good to go, man.
It's gonna be way under 30 by the time the market opens. How it
Yeah.
looks.
Yeah, it's
So
looking pretty good. Actually, speaking of
I'm gonna
that,
take a chance though, man. If that employment number came in way high and I
yeah.
missed my opportunity to shave and it's another 3 months before I get to and I start to look like a weirdo, no way. So
Yep. Absolutely. You're not taking no chances, man. I do not blame you. With that said,
yeah.
let's take it right to the spy. Fill us in what's happening today, how those numbers look obviously pretty good right now.
Yeah, man. Right now, also we walked into a beautifully sized gappers list. I mean, some good stuff on it, but not too big. I anticipate that'll start growing pretty quickly now as the market gets that number and digests it. So, one the April unemployment number just came out, and I was actually having some issues, so I didn't catch it. But the non-farm came out at 20.5 million, which was actually better than expected at 22 million. Still the worst number in history.
Mm-hmm.
And unemployment was, I have it here, 14.7% versus the 16 expected, which
Okay.
is the highest it's been in a extremely long time, if ever. So anyway, but people are saying, why is the market up? These horrible numbers. Yeah, but everybody knew that. The market
Mm-hmm.
isn't going to the market's not going to react to something that everybody knew. People have been trading and building positions based on that for weeks and weeks. So anyway, the market really popped on that news to start out with on some pretty heavy volume. It's kind of given some of that back now, but it's still higher than it had been.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what else we got today. We've had some great earnings last night. We'll get into those, and then as far as economic data today, I think we've obviously got the biggie, but then there's wholesale inventories later. Some of the Fed speakers might be doing some speeches today. It seems like they're out on the trail for speeches. So anyway, I don't have a list of them, but just be
Mm-hmm.
aware that might take place.
Gotcha, man. Thank you for that. All right, folks, let's get into Yeah, we had our list here on the gapping up list getting a lot bigger. It was very nice and small this morning. Now you can see it's kind of jumping up a bit. Let's get a little more room just to get some of the tickers to show up in here. So let's start with what's gapping down. Obviously, Roku's leading the way this morning. They are down quite a bit, 7.4. Let's take a look at their daily. Let's get our 5 minute up here. So again, they seem to have been doing well yesterday. They had a nice big gap up. They actually finished strong, and today we got a little bit of a shock factor, down 7.3. Norm, what's going on with Roku today?
I'm a little bit surprised they're down as much as they are, and it's starting to come back, which isn't surprising to me. So
Mm-hmm.
they beat their numbers. Last night they had earnings, beat their numbers, and their active accounts were up pretty big, 38-ish%, I believe. But the problem was twofold. There was slightly less time watched on Roku devices than analysts had predicted. Slightly less, not a huge deal.
Mm-hmm.
The big thing was talking about the real hit to ad revenue, which is where they make a substantial amount of their money. Number of cancellations being super high. As I've mentioned in the past, it's a business I used to be in.
Mm-hmm.
My wife's still in that business. So, I mean, I know firsthand how hard that industry is getting hit with cancellations because, I mean, if people can't go in a showroom to buy a car, they're not going to advertise right now.
Yep.
Same
Yep.
thing with, all kinds of retail and other stuff. So,
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. You're not going to spend advertising dollars for to not get a return on your investment there, whatever the case may be. So so it makes sense. So here, Roku, guys, we got some good volume out of it, 7.4 right now, and it's built a good base so far. It looks like down here at around 123 has been tested several times, even even last night after hours. So we'll see. Let's see what it does today, but definitely on our list. I think it's going to be a good one to watch. Let's look at Shop. So Shop is next. They are down 3% this morning. How did they end up doing yesterday, by the way? Let's see what they did here. So they had a pretty active afternoon, as you can see right on there on Shop. But for the most part, they are down 3% this morning with 184. Again, guys, this stock I usually don't watch it. It's very difficult to trade. We can put it on here for now, but you know what? I'm gonna just put it down as a possible. That's probably where it's going to end up, and from there probably get chopped down because we have a pretty decent gapping up list this morning, and I do see some great ticker names on here. Uber, some of the cruise lines. We have MGM on here, United, and Delta. So let's see what those are doing and see if we can find something better in that area. It seems like this gappers list we've been seeing over the last month or so, just the same names over and over again that are really gapping in the range, right? Rarely are we seeing any new stocks, and when we do see them, they're either a realty company or something that's not really tradable. So again, it's just been interesting how active these tickers, these company names have been throughout this whole thing here. All right, let's start at the top. PSTI this morning.
Shop is on a secondary, by the way. They had earnings the other day. They had a secondary offering, and they priced it at $700. So that's what's going on there.
Yeah, so even again, I'm just going to remove it, guys. I'm not going to spend no time on it. It just doesn't make sense. So PSTI, this one, it is up 23% this morning. Again, this stock's a little bit weird, guys. It's very difficult to trade. It is a low flow stock sitting at 14.5. And the action on it is not all that clean. The daily looks a little bit interesting because we have been, let's get our pen out over here. It has been holding this 850 here, and between 950, we kind of had a little range going on here. But overall, it's a stock that is extremely difficult to trade. I don't like that it's a low flow on top of that. We can put it down here as a possible this morning. We can come back to it, see if it gets any better for the low flow team. But overall, it's just one of those stocks that's just not as clean to trade. The pre-market right now also pretty much flat around 1050. Again, you got some volume, 500,000, but this 500,000 is not trading clean at all. It's just very choppy. Let's take a look at FEYE this morning. So they had a big day yesterday and are also gapping up nicely today, 5.8. Pre-market action starting to get going, 141,000 at the moment. What I like about this daily yesterday, look how many times we tested this here. So it's got a great daily chart at the moment. Definitely worth watching. Norm, what's the news on this one?
So this is a cybersecurity company, and Zoom, that we've talked a lot about recently, came out and they acquired a cybersecurity company. I think there's been speculation that somebody was going to acquire FireEye, and it's popped them up.
Okay. All right, that could be some news worth watching, guys. Again, obviously, it seems like something was known yesterday, right? Something's made it have this nice big pop here.
That was on that news when Zoom got acquired a company, so people started buying it up then. News has spread a little bit more now. It's popped a little higher. I mean, it's completely unsubstantiated. There's absolutely nothing out there that's saying this is the case. Right. I think they might have been pumped on CNBC or something too yesterday. So between those two things, that's what's got them going.
Yeah, interesting to see how that's going to play out today. With, again, no confirmed news, just an actual rumor, right, of a possibility. So here's Uber as well this morning. They are gapping up 5.9, heading to 6, 1 million shares traded. Great pre-market action. And what we mean by that, look how great this activity is happening right now. So although you have 1 million shares traded, sometimes you get the action just very choppy. Like I'll go like I think it's INO that trades like that. You have 4 million shares in the pre-market. It's just horrible. This one here, you have 1 million shares and you got a really nice range in pre-market action right now. Really great daily also continues to break the new resistance levels that it does. We had this one for some time, broke out of that, came back, tested it, had a great gap up day yesterday, did hold it right towards these recent highs, and now we're above it. That's a 200 moving average. Yes, it is. We're above the 200 on the daily, so that's interesting on Uber. Norm, any specific news on Uber yesterday and this morning?
They had earnings last night. They had earnings last night, and it was a little. The earnings were a little rough, actually. When they came out, they dropped. They missed some of the estimates, but as I've mentioned recently, There's so much craziness going on. It's so hard for analysts to actually predict what companies should. They're kind of taking it with a grain of salt. The conference call happened, and they were focusing on how much Uber Eats has just taken off beyond their expectations, and they expect, based on research they've done and everything else, that that segment is going to permanently have a massive growth. Not only are they delivering from restaurants, but grocery delivery from convenience stores, all kinds of stuff like that,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
in all their operations from around the world. So potential additional revenue streams. Obviously, the rides portion of it. I read this conference call transcript this morning. It was pretty interesting. They think that they think rides will come back. Obviously, some of it won't. But I mean, think about it. If you're especially up in like your area, Carlos, how soon do you really want to get on a subway that's jam packed with a bunch of other
Oh
people?
yeah,
Maybe you'd be
absolutely.
willing to,
Yeah.
fork out a few extra dollars for a ride share instead. So
Yeah, absolutely. Or even the bus. I have a friend that actually works for Port Authority bus on the bus terminal, and he got COVID-19. Now he's young, and he was able to get over it. But you don't want to be in that area. I'll take an Uber anytime if opposed to taking public transportation. So you're right. It's a good point there. This right here, this actually reminds me a little bit of PayPal yesterday. The day before, did the same thing, dropped down, took off here, and then held these highs. So again, Uber's looking great this morning. Definitely want to keep an eye on what's going to happen here. Some good volume and good pre-market action. Let's take a look what else we have down here. We have NCLH continues to move higher. NCLH. Let's look what we got here. Right, so they continue to have a nice little pop here. Again, they have this beautiful base, by the way, down here. If you notice, after they got the drop here, the new lows, and then here they had this base. No matter what news comes out, they seem to be holding this 11. And we know they had some pretty bad news come out. They said, hey, we might be able to make it out of this situation without, getting, going through a really rough time, if at all, being able to come back. But they seem to be holding that 11 pretty well. So they held it a couple of days ago one more time, and now they're gapping up 6.2. So Norm, any other updates on what's going on with these guys in regards to what we know already?
yeah, they actually they came out with a statement. They were talking about they're planning on starting the sale again. I believe in August, off the top of my head. It's just a
Mm-hmm.
slow reopening of everything here is popping to this. But they also, told, I believe it was Congress, that not all cruise lines are created equal. We actually, pride ourselves on cleanliness, and all these incidents of cruises happened on one specific cruise line that Thor trades every day.
Every
I
single
think
day.
that's how they said it actually too. So, it's they're getting a pop on this, and they said their bookings for next year are like 85 or 90% of normal. So,
Wow.
um,
Well,
anticipating a comeback. Now, I don't know if that'll hold, but
yeah, yeah. Well, this is one that again has
and
been
they
very
and David's
active.
bringing up a good point. Longtime member
Hmm.
David comes to all our meetups that are anywhere near him, which is amazing.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
CEO also mentioned they can survive no revenue for 18 months with what they've done financially. So
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely gonna give them a nice little pop this morning. So they're leading the way on the cruise lines area. So let's look at the rest that we have here. RCL this morning, they are up. Usually RCL seems to be the less active out of all of them. Has the worst daily, as you can see, compared to how the candles are forming. So usually we don't really look at that one much. And then the other one here, CCL, obviously, let's take a look at them this morning. CCL, they are not having such a great pre-market action right now, but they do got the volume 932. Obviously, NCOH has a better pre-market activity, as you can see here, forming nicely. But you know what? CCL is one that we have to keep an eye on, and we can see how that's going to develop later in the morning as well. All right, heading down here, we have a Dropbox, DBX. This morning they had a good day yesterday. Now they are gapping up 4%, 105, not the best pre-market activity. This is a stock, I remember when it first IPO'd, it was very difficult to trade. I haven't looked at it in quite some time, so I'm not sure what the pre-market, what the actual intraday action is. But obviously it has some good stuff happening yesterday. Norm here, nice big pop. What's going on with them today?
yeah, they had earnings, and obviously they're getting helped out by work from home culture and the need for
Yeah.
cloud computing and software. That having been said, I agree with you fully on what you were saying about them being difficult to trade in the early days. I don't think it's quite as bad now. I mean, they've got a
Hmm.
259 million share float, and their ATR is like 82 cents, so nothing too
Hmm.
crazy. I'll have my eye on it. I don't know if it'll be worth trading or not.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, to segue over, one of the new gap downs that we have is TTD. Still a pain in the butt to trade.
TTD, yeah, let's look over that. TTD, it is down 7.6, 115, and this is another one that reminds me a little bit of Shop. Also, extremely difficult to trade, very, very choppy, and the spread could be pretty decent. We're gonna throw it down here next to PSTI as a possible. See if it gets any better, and if we see any kind of signs that this looks great for today. But again, it's another one of those stocks that's not an easy one to deal with. And let me be clear on what we mean by not easy to trade, because we did get the question yesterday. Just in case you missed it, we trade a certain way. We have a certain strategies that we like: opening range breakup, ABCD pattern, VWAP reversals. There are just some stocks, and this also falls for the penny stocks and these lower flow stocks sitting at 3.9, 5.9 million shares. These strategies do not work well with those type of stocks. You're going to realize very soon, as you are trading past 6 months, past a year, you realize what stocks trade well with the type of strategy that you're doing. So again, there's nothing wrong with trading a stock like this if you have a strategy or an edge that can give you, the best opportunity possible to, have a winning a strategy. But overall, our strategy with a stock like this that trades very choppy and it does have a good spread, it doesn't work as well. Similar with the low flow stocks, there are completely different strategies that work for that stuff, and we just don't focus on that. So when we say, hey, this stock is garbage, that's what we really mean. We don't mean the company or anything else is garbage. We just mean the way we trade it just don't link up together very well. So we'll keep it on here, guys, but not a great one for right now for what we're looking to do here. Let's look at some of the airlines. We have Delta, and I thought I saw United on here. Yeah, let's see what's going on there. Here's Delta this morning. They are up 3.8. Again, kind of coming back to a nice base here at 21. Could be interesting. We'll keep an eye on it. I also saw United. Let's take a look at what's going on there. I know someone mentioned Save in the chat, so I'm going to look at that one now since we're looking at the airlines. I do not see Save here on our gapping. Gapping down, actually. Yeah, so we'll take a look at that. United as well. A lot less volume on United, so I'm going to keep it off. We'll keep Delta. But let's look at Save. So Save here, Spirit Airlines, it is down 2.6. So again, obviously, they have been having a great time here. At the moment, they got a great pre-market activity, 2.2 million shares traded right now, and dropping back down to what it seems like trying to test the lows from yesterday. So I definitely like Save. Is very active. I think Mike threw that out there in the chat on YouTube. So we'll take a look at that one in a sec. All right, guys, so we got a pretty decent list. This list is going to keep growing depending how the market continues to, head higher here, and as well as more stock continue to get volume, getting above that 100,000. So I just want to look at JD and see what's happening with JD this morning. Not much activity, just barely cracking over 101 here. Norm, what do you like aside from what we have here this morning?
Disney. Did you look at Disney?
We did not. You know what? Disney was. I saw some articles on Disney yesterday. See what we got going on here. They are up 3%, 240. This could be interesting. I like the daily as well.
Decent volume. They're starting to open up some of their stuff. Not their parks yet, but could be interesting today. Slack, aka WORK. Do not mistake that for WORX, which I believe is still on a halt.
Is that still on the halt? Oh man.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Look
Usually,
at that.
those are the kind of halts like Hunt, where they can last
back.
forever. If the exchange comes and asks you for information and you're not going to open until they get it, that's not a good sign.
Yep. 100%. So we have here.
WORK.
Yeah, WORK. Yeah. This one is had a good day yesterday, and I love the daily on it as well. Just look at this area of resistance at 30. We're above that now. So again, pre-market looks good, 3.2. Why is this one on our gappers list? Oh, it is. It is right on. Okay, good. Work is good. Let's keep an eye on that one. All right, excellent. Let's see what the chat room has this morning. So Disney, we have NET. I don't see much.
LK is still halted as well. We'll see how long that one lasts.
Yeah, that's right.
Speaking of, when you say
LK.
some stocks are trash, sometimes the companies are too.
Yeah, true.
They're like fraudulent Chinese companies like LK.
Yep.
So
Or any one of those that is an education in somewhere, who knows where. What was that name? The company was an education company as well. That also got halted some time ago. Again, it's
There
just
was
funky stuff.
PAL,
Yeah, yeah,
PAL's one of them, and there's
yeah,
another one,
yeah,
and I
yeah,
can't.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just craziness. So NET guys, it's got some volume, 102. It is down 11.6. Big day yesterday, but they're not showing me a great pre-market action. What is the float on this one too? Let's check in trade ideas. What do we have here on NET? 91, not a low flow, so that's a good shares flow there. Again, I'm just not liking the action on it. I'm gonna throw it down as a possible. It did have a really great day yesterday, giving a lot of it back today. Actually gave all of it back today this morning, gapping down 11%, basically what it gained so far. So we'll see if it gets better, but right now pre-market's not looking all that way. They're all that great. Their volume for the most part is pretty light as well. Usually when you have stocks that trade under, and this is not a rule, it's just kind of an observation of what we look at by looking at stocks every day. Anything under 5 million shares tends to have this type of daily activity. See how choppy this is? Every candle is kind of linked to the next candle. Drop down, comes back up, drop down, comes back up. That creates a lot of choppiness. So again, I think sometimes when you look at this, is related to the type of volume the stock trades. So just keep an eye on that. I'm not looking all that great right now. We'll keep it as a possible. Work we have CWH. Camping World. This one here is gapping up 27%. Not great volume, but I love this gap up. Seems like people are starting to go camping a little more or something.
Camp.
Yeah, so you can see here, nice recovery here. And actually, speaking of a camp, my brother is he's ready to just start doing things, and camping is one of the things he wants to get into now. So you can see here, it's nice big gap. We can
They had earnings last night.
They
I
did?
will
Okay.
say, is there a better, I guess, social distancing thing than
Right.
getting an RV and going out to the middle of nowhere?
That's true. That's absolutely right. So again, this one here is looking decent on the daily. Pre-market action right now, it's got to get a lot better, guys. Pretty low. That's why I'm going to put it down here as a possible. We need some more action out of that. MGM this morning, let's take a look. This one is 172. Continues to just hang around. Again, this base that it has built here, it's on the top of this range around 1550, looks like, in the bottom at 14. So just hanging around this area, banging his head at the moment. Don't see anything all that great on MGM. It could be choppy. If it breaks out of this, it could be good. But again, many times we've seen MGM start off like this and just as a pure chop in the morning. Gonna put it down as possible. I don't want to just completely exit out. But again, MGM just seems to do this on a regular basis. All right, we have Oxy, SPCE. Let's take a look at Oxy first. This one, I'm not 207 is getting popping up a little bit here, up 3.2. Very difficult stock to trade. I think we have some pretty good ones today, so I'm gonna keep Oxy on the side. Again, I think we have a lot of great stocks here that are gonna give us some good opportunities aside from Oxy. If you have space, you can definitely watch it. Talking about space, let's go to SPCE and see what they're doing today. SPCE, they are not much volume right now. They had a pretty good 2 last days, sitting at this area right now of a good area of resistance for a possible breakout. Again, they've been trading pretty well, or a rejection coming back down to this range that they've been having over the last couple of weeks. Right, look at the range here. Heads up, resistance comes back down, finds the base one more time, heading right back to that 21.25. Not able to break through today. Could be either a great continuation if they can break out of this, or possibly head back down here. So we can see what that does added on here. All right, one more, guys, on the chat. We'll look at YouTube. BYND. What is BYND up to? They've been very, very active actually the last 2 days. Right now, not doing all that much. Trying to get over 100,000 at the moment. Again, they don't just have great volume at this moment. Could get better. We can come back to. If you guys see that the pre-market action gets better, throw it back out to us and we'll take a look at it. All right, let's look at our YouTube chat.
That's a stock that if it turns out it's really not in play, but for some reason you get stubborn and stuck on trading it, it'll chop you to pieces. Yeah. The way it bounces back 60, 75 cents in either direction.
Yeah, and it's funny, it's always been like that ever since the IPO. Well, when IPO, it was insane. You couldn't trade the damn thing. I mean, the ATR was just, what was that, 20 bucks at one time, 30 bucks. It was just crazy the way it was trading.
It was insane. It was like $24.
Yeah. So it was just madness. All right, let's look at BA this morning. Again, not much going on pre-market action wise. Volume is good, 252, but pre-market is not looking all that great. We've seen better from BA for sure. So we know they could put in a great pre-market action. So again, it's just one of those things that if it's not in play, it could be tough to trade. But when they have that volume, BA has been really, really good with some pretty good pre-market action. Let's look at Tesla, see what's going on with Tesla this morning. Tesla has a great daily, guys. Again, you see the breakout here, came back down with the madness of our friend Musk over there, and then here, which is kind of consolidating between 800. It looks like a 770 or so. Pre-market action though is not looking all that exciting. This could be a good possible for later in the mid morning. It could be explosive, guys, depending how things are going to open up here. So again, got a great level here of resistance. If we can break out of that, we definitely got the room to run because we did it recently right up here. So could be a good possible, guys. I'm going to throw it on here. I think we can keep an eye on this one for a move towards the top if we can get it. SLB, not much going on there. No volume. Yep.
SLB.
SLB, LB, yep. So not much going on there. MVIS, penny stock, guys. So again, going back to that conversation, our strategies do not do well with this here at all. So we are going to skip this one. UCO. This is, what is it, ETF? What is this here?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna skip on this one. Crude oil. Oh yeah. So again, we just don't trade these ones, guys. We just don't have this on our list. We don't look at it. AAN, and also, guys, no volume on here. It is gapping up 4%, but again, just look at the action. You have nothing going on here at all. 600 shares
traded.
Yeah, so nothing happening there. All right, somebody mentioned Teva was on the list yesterday. Let's take a look at Teva. Teva, yeah, it could be a good continuation. For this one, you want to wait for it to hit the scanners. So you have your scanners up, wait for it to hit the scanners. Right now, you don't got great volume, you don't got a great pre-market action. It's kind of like PayPal. So I want to see if PayPal traded great yesterday. Could be a good continuation, but right now we just don't have anything happening. It's pretty much flat at the moment. So again, this could be a good one. I'm gonna have this on my secondary, looking for a possible play off the scanners on this one because it could continue or head back down here. Again, they had a really, really good day yesterday. So I'm gonna keep an eye on PayPal here for a possible later today. All right, folks, I think we have...
throw out one sleeper pick.
Which one?
One sleeper pick, Z.
Z.
Oh, sorry, Zed.
Zed here. Zillow, yes. Zillow.
So there's not much volume. Yeah. They had earnings.
Mm-hmm.
They usually don't have earnings, or they usually don't have much volume. I'm not going to focus on this, but I've got it on my list in case it gets volume at the open.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. PayPal, same thing, right? It's not looking all that great, not that much volume. Yeah. But look at this play yesterday. Z has the same look, guys. Had a really good day yesterday, and is gapping up 5%. If it gets the volume, it could be very explosive. So another one that is a great one to keep an eye for if it hits our scanners. We got some high volume scanners. We have the turbo breakup, turbo breakdown. We'll be looking for these names to come up there, snap into them, and see if there's an opportunity for us to take it either way. All right, guys, let's go over to announcement, and then we'll come back and do some support and resistance. We're gonna fine tune some of this and see what we can take off and keep.
All right, guys. Once again, super excited to announce our Bearable Traders podcast, Talk with Traders. You can find it by searching Talk with Traders on any of your favorite platforms, such as Spotify, Captivate, iTunes, Overcast, and any others where you listen to your favorite podcast. We started out by putting our Brett Steenbarger, Dr. Brett interview, and Mike Bellafiore from last week on there, and a conversation with Dr. Katz. But we're going to be putting fresh, exclusive content onto this podcast. We just wanted to get it launched with a couple of things to start it out and build some momentum from there. So check it out, subscribe. You'll be notified whenever you get a new podcast coming out on that. Andrews, did he do this last night? I apologize.
You know what?
Carlos?
I wasn't on last night, so I'm not sure if they did.
I think it's been postponed.
They did.
Wonderful.
Yep.
I was busy taking care of my son. It was kind of crazy in my house last night. I'm in the middle of packing. So that should be up.
I'm a teacher.
How Andrew uses his moving averages should be up. The recording here soon. And then Mike's creating a trading business plan will be the success webinar for next week, 8 p.m. normal time in the webinar room on Wednesday. Dr. Katz's How to Maintain Balance Psychology webinar should be up, and then Mike's Module 3, Importance of Discipline in Trading, will be next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Speaking of Mike, he, Peter, and Brian will be doing the market close show this afternoon, 3:30 to 4 p.m. Eastern. If you're not a member, you can catch it on YouTube live stream. So just subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell there, and you will be notified when they go live later today. If you're watching us on YouTube and you'd like to try out the chat, you can do it for a discount. Use the promo code PREMARKET24 when you check out for the intro membership. Doesn't turn into any other kind of membership or auto renew or anything like that. Just 1 week in the chat. It's Friday. As I've mentioned this week, Carlos and I suggest to people that email us, do it on the weekend. Sign up on the weekend because it's a calendar week, so 5 trading days. That way you can set up, kind of get in the site, get the feel of it over the weekend. Monday you can go in, feel the chat out, and then at 8 p.m. that night, go to our Class 1 onboarding we do every week, and then you'll have the full rest of the week kind of have a taste of the room.
Yep, absolutely.
That's all I got, buddy.
All right, thank you, Norm. Appreciate that. All right, guys, so let's get into it. Happy Friday. Good morning if you're just joining us a little bit over 9 a.m. now. So we have our list here of stuff that's gapping up with some decent volume. Let's go through what we're going to keep and get rid of the crap. So here is Roku this morning. Good action right now. Again, 728,000 shares traded. Great day yesterday. They are dropping down pretty big, significant after being up nicely at 140. We're down to 127, down $10 today on it. So we'll keep an eye on this one. Definitely love what I'm seeing out of Roku right now. Here's FEYE at the moment. They are also up 4%, 187. Pre-market is looking okay. Hopefully can continue to get better. So I want to keep an eye on this one also. I like the fact they're breaking out of this area of resistance that we had for about two times here and here. Yesterday we came right to it and now we're gapping up. So let's see what we can get out of that one. Here's Uber, guys. Also very active. Great pre-market actions. Got one of the better looking pre-market activities this morning out of the stocks that we're watching. Also, I like the fact that we're strong yesterday. Continuation of this gap up today, up 5.9. NCLH, a lot of more positive news coming out of them, being able to somewhat sustain or maybe they got some secure funding, whatever the case may be. They are up 6.6 right now, 1.4 million shares traded. They are definitely in play today. Usually, CCL usually is the one that has the most volume today. NCLH is the one leading the way when it comes to cruise lines. CCL, we could watch CCL. It could be a great possible. I'm going to throw it down here because it's a stock that, although you might not have it on your main list, you always want to keep a close eye on it because it could be very interesting to trade. But today, I think NCLH is the one that's leading the cruise lines. I'm going to watch this one opposed to CCL. Here is Dropbox this morning. They are up 3.8. Again, another great day, good day yesterday for them, breaking out of this area of resistance and holding that here. A lot of stock with some possible continuation. They don't have a great pre-market activity at the moment, but they do got some volume up 3.8. We're putting some levels on here and seeing where that's going to lead us to. Here's Delta, guys, very active right now, 541, up 3.1, decent 3.1, decent pre-market activity as far as the possible breakout here. So we'll see how that goes. What I like about it on the daily too, we're getting towards the top of this small consolidation over the last couple of days. You can see on here, just been kind of banging our heads between 21 and 23, 2250-ish looks like. So let's see if we can break out of that. And if we do, we know this stock can run, has done in the past several times. Here is Save. Save is also active, 3.1. But look at the difference though. Save has a great pre-market activity, but the volume is very high. And you're not getting all that movement out of it at the moment, right? So I'm not sure how that's going to be tradable when the huge volume surge comes in this morning. Let's see if we're going to get some opportunities out of that. Yesterday was very good, guys. It did have some good ranges to it. It had a huge pop, a huge drop, and then it came back up. So you have to be very quick. Those type of trades, you cannot be slow. If you are going to get a bad entry, and you're gonna most likely on the pullback, you can get really stopped out pretty bad. So again, let's see how it does today. Amazing volume yesterday with everything going on with them. We'll do some levels for that. Here's Disney, another one that's also a good continuation. Great day yesterday's holding. It is up another 2.8 today, 284. We'll do levels for that. Here's Work. Again, a lot of possible continuation plays. Work is the same one. Now, what I like about Work is, again, we're breaking out, as I mentioned earlier, from this 30. So this is good. Makes it interesting. SPCE, not all that exciting. I'm going to remove it, guys. Just by looking at everything else we have here, this one could take a backseat for now. And then as far as possibles, let's go through them. We got CCL, we got C, we got PayPal. We got some really good possibles today. I think I'm going to keep these all on here for right now. I'm not going to remove any. We can do that later on as we get closer to the market open. All right, let's start with some levels here, guys. Roku, we have some highs and lows in between the price action, surrounding the price action right now. The low of the pre-market sitting at 123.26, very close to the low from 2 days ago. So right on, the got a pretty nice low base happening at the moment. Towards the top, the high from 2 days ago is the high from this pre-market right now, 128.18, slightly higher. And then above that, we do have the previous day close and the high from yesterday. In here, guys, you could do a minor level, which is this 132.58. We tested that twice when we first had this beautiful run up here, kind of find a rejection there. And then again on this day here, the minute we came above this, we came back down. So we could keep that level on there, some minor support, a resistance that cannot be a resistance again for this stock. Towards the bottom, guys, we do have a great area of support at 118. Look at this beautiful support here. Every time the stock hit this level, the buyer stepped up and bought it back up here. It stopped here, consolidated. Once it broke down again, found support at this moving average, and then shoots right back up towards this area where the low of the pre-market is. So we got some pretty good levels set out for Roku, guys, being tested quite a bit over the last couple of days between this new range here where we again kind of broke into it in a very fast manner. By the way, you can see in this new range we've been testing some of these levels several times, so that's a good sign that people are paying attention to these levels and actually executing trades off of them. Here's FEYE. At the moment, guys, again, I love the pop. I love the possible continuation. But pre-market, I don't know. Pre-market's not all that great. So I'm just going to remove this one for now. Let's get this one out the way. Now, here's Uber. I like the way Uber is setting up. High of the pre-market, 33.56. Your low of the pre-market sitting at a 32.37. Again, great day yesterday. They gapped up. They're gapping up again today. They have been broke their most recent area of resistance. So this is nice. Also, we mentioned earlier, we do have our 200 moving average, which we're getting above now. So that's interesting as well. That's the strongest moving average on the daily. And then up above the pre-market high, we have 35.31. I'm going to mark that down. A great area on here as well. You can see some days bouncing off of that location there. So towards the bottom, guys, you have plenty. Do not need to add any more highs and lows from the last two trading days. Got to pretty much cover towards the bottom here. Here's NCLH, as we spoke about. This one is very active, continues to rip higher. Now we're up 8%, coming back down a bit here, hitting 13. So pre-market high at 13. I'm going to mark that down. Here we go. So 13 is there. And then above that, there seems to be a nice little gap between 13 and 14.12. So if you zoom in here, or just zoom out and you look in here, in this area here, this range, notice how there's not much happening in here. Pretty empty. So the minute we get there, we either shoot up or slam back down. So that's interesting there. So exciting to see what's going to happen above this 13. If we're going to repeat what we have done several times here, either gapping above it, but notice how there's just no days, barely closing or opening in this range. So interesting. 13 is a good number for this stock, and 14.12 obviously interesting as well. As you can see, several days opening and closing right on that area. So let's see what it does at 13. It could be heavy resistance too. We've seen it several times not be able to break this 13, right? So you can see that right on there. Let's see what's going to do here. Obviously, we're seeing some rejection on it right now. Towards the bottom, guys, highs and lows from the last two trading days, previous day close, you pretty much cover as well on this one. Here's Dropbox. Again, the pre-market action is not all that great, but I want to see how Dropbox is going to trade. We're going to put some levels for 23.38, 22.32, and then previous day close and highs and lows from the last two trading days towards the bottom. You can mark down this 21.24 in case we lose the previous day close and yesterday's highs. We got a nice area here of resistance, so we'll keep an eye on that. All right, above this 23.31, we have a nice big day here. We had a huge gap up. I don't remember this gap up. I'm not sure if I was trading this day, but I don't remember this huge gap up here. Hits 23.75 and then it slams back down. So we'll put 23.75 in case we decide to go north. Right now, it's not looking all that great, guys, pre-market action-wise. I do want to see what happens with this stock, so we'll move it down to a possible, and we're going to make this possibles list a little bit smaller as well. So let's remove Dropbox here right now. All right, so here's Delta, guys. Delta's holding this level at the moment, getting a rejection at 22.50, which has been the pre-market, the high from yesterday. You can see that right on there as well. Above that, we do have a great level here at around 23.48, and then we have some moving average in between here as well, so we look out for those. And then 24.92, another one. Towards the bottom, highs and lows, previous day close, your cover with a beautiful base down here at 21. So it's got a great pre-market action right now. Let's see if it's been struggling struggling at this 22.55, but again, it's not coming back down to the VWAP. So let's see if it can hold here and head back up, or what's going to be the next steps for Delta. Here is Save. My concern with Save is it started off with a beautiful pre-market action, guys. Look at the range on this, just nicely testing, you know, some of these moving averages, going red to green a few times. Now we just got slammed down, lost the VWAP, and then here we're just kind of just chopping sideways a bit with some pretty decent volume. So interesting. People just kind of waiting around to see what's going to happen, and there's volume. Look at this. I don't like that. You saw that right there. 270, huge drops. So you got some really big orders coming in, which do not create a good pre-market activity, right? So let's see. This could be very, very choppy at the open. Be careful with this. I'm actually going to move it down as a possible, just because of that. I think we got some other ones that look a lot better. There's just might be too much volume for this stock at the open, and yes, there is such a thing. Where there's too much volume, you just can't read the price action. So there is Disney here. Disney's looking good, guys, creating a nice pre-market action. High of the pre-market sitting at 109.20. So we're going to mark that down, 109.20, and then above that we do have this level here, 110.29, and then all the way up here, 112.65. Towards the bottom with really good levels here, previous day close, highs and lows. You got some moving averages coming in as well, kind of trying to find somewhat of a curling up action, hopefully, but Disney's good to watch right now. Here's Work. Let's see what we have on Work. Also another one that it had a great day yesterday, also possible continuation today. High of the pre-market sitting at 31.41. Towards the bottom there, low of the pre-market at 30.60. Then you have this beautiful support at 30. Again, 30 has been a very important resistance. Now it's going to become hopefully support for this stock. So we'll see what happens there. Above this, let's see what's the next level we have above 31.43. We're going back now to August, September time frame. We do have several days on here that we're consolidating, and now we're sitting at 32.49 will be the next area. So look at this 31.41 consolidation area here, 30 where the price action is at now, also possible consolidation there as well. All right, so that is our main list. Let's go through this possible list because we do got a lot on here. Let's look at Save. Again, Save, I mentioned, is a good one. It's got some really good volume, but I see some really big orders being dropped there. So I'm going to put as a possible. Dropbox is a good possible. CCL as well. Z, we got to read some good possibles here. Okay, PayPal's breaking down. Tesla could be good. I'm going to remove Tesla because it's pretty kind of flat right now. So let's remove Tesla for now. Also, it's a higher price stock. So if I had the choice to watch Tesla or PayPal, watch PayPal. MGM. I'm going to remove MGM. It's not doing much, guys. NET, also not doing much. Let's get rid of this one for now. TTD, this one's starting to do something here. I like the drop though on TTD though. But again, as we mentioned earlier, this is a difficult stock to trade. So let's just remove it for now. CWH could be interesting, up 27%. It's got 95,000 shares traded. We can definitely keep it as a possible. SPTI, I'm just going to remove, guys. I think this is a low flow stock, by the way. So we'll just get rid of this one. And there it is. We have a beautiful list. So we have Roku creating a great pre-market activity. We have Uber moving very well, up 5.5. NCLH doing some really good action right now. Again, struggling with that 13, as we've seen it struggle before in the past. Here is Delta as well, kind of chopping around a bit. Disney is good. And Work is very active. I like Work. All right, guys, we have a good list for a Friday. Let's see what we got going on. Norm, anything else you like?
No, I like what you got on the list there. The one I would add was Twilio, but
TWLO. Another one we had a lot of these yesterday, right? Gapping up, holding.
Yeah, that massive pop. We'll see if it holds or if it sells off. But nevertheless, it looks like it's moving in pre-market. It's almost got 200,000 shares. Yeah, so that looks pretty decent.
Yeah, I'm gonna add that here.
Peloton
guys,
maybe as well.
Peloton, here we go. Yep. Yeah, we have again, it's just so much stuff because we have a lot that traded well yesterday. That could be some really good continuation plays. Now, this is where your scanners become so handy, guys, because you can watch everything. So we have about 6 or 5 that we're watching here. You can watch less or more. You just can watch like 10 stocks, right? We have a good possibles list. The way to do this, guys, on your main list, right? Let's say you have 5, 4, whatever you're watching. If you notice that the open is not looking really good and it's just not trading well, the volume didn't come in. Look at your possibles and just change one out, or look at what somebody else is trading that they're calling out that it looks active, maybe change out for one of those. So again, just You never know. You never know. We have some really good lists here. These all look great right now, but they could all be not great at the open, and these could actually take off. So it's just one of those things where sometimes the luck could be in what you're watching and what you're not watching. That if there's any luck in trading, that'll probably be it. All right, let's see what the moderators are watching this morning. I see Andrew, United Airlines, NET, Roku, Uber, FEYE, NCLH, and CCL. Brian is watching Roku SQ, his buddy. What is SQ up to? SQ, another one that also had a great day yesterday. SQ, NCLH, BA. We looked at BA, yes, Uber, and PSTI. Also AIM. We didn't look at AIM. Let's take a look at AIM, what's happening there. Brian likes these stocks. You know what? Brian sometimes does very well with AIM. If this is the one he's watching, this is one of the weird ones that usually will not fit our criteria. But we know Brian is weird like that, with his tequila and stuff like that. So especially on a Friday. All right, so here's Eamon. Eamon is watching Roku, DBX, Uber, and NCLH. All right, guys, we got a pretty good list. I think we're all set to go. Guys on YouTube, thank you so much for joining us. Have a great weekend. Trade safe today. Again, as usual, you want to end the week right. Go into the weekend knowing that you follow your rules and you don't have to wait 2 more days to make up for doing some questionable trading. So just be patient. Wait for the setup. We have some really good stocks today. It's a lot of stocks we have today. If we look at the list, which is read out from the moderators, everybody's watching something slightly different. What you do not want to do on this day is that if you have your list and you have your plan, and somebody in the chat room calls something else out that you are not watching, you do not just want to flip over and take a trade. That's following someone, and we want you to be independent traders, right? So you can switch to it, but then you got to keep the mindset, okay, I got to figure out if there is a strategy for me to trade and if I still have an entry. Right? Following someone is not going to work for long term. You're not going to build consistency doing that. So just, again, do not have the fear of missing out. Somebody else took a great trade on a stock that you were not watching. That's okay. That's part of trading. That's part of having a community and being able to share things with each other, but not cause havoc and negative stuff with each other when we're just trying to follow what somebody else is doing. So just keep that in mind, guys. Great Friday. And we'll see you guys. Have a great weekend. We'll see you guys Monday.
Take care, guys. Trade safe. Have a great weekend.